And in this class, we'll be talking about hypothesis testing. You see? So Cynthia just shared the link to us. Thank you very much, Cynthia. You know what? Let me just stop for now and look at the link with you a little bit. Just close that. I'm Cynthia. Just share. The link. So based on what I just get from Cynthia, and I click on the link, this is what I got. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Okay, so it was installed now. Okay, so let me close that. And then go to okay. Last time we was talking about hypothesis testing, about a sample mean, but right now we're gonna be talking about sample mean, sample for proportion. Right here. Again, last time we were talking about mean, now we're doing proportion. What we need to understand before I do anything, we need to know what a z-table is. I'm pretty sure you guys know how to navigate that by now. Understand the idea of alternative and non-hypothesis concepts. Also understand what is called a two-tail, left tail, two-tail, right tail. Also something called the test statistics and the p-value. Okay, we have a condition that we need to expect for the proportion. If you are given a sample size n and a population proportion of p, the multiplication must be greater or equal than 5. The same thing with n times q, in which q is 1 minus p. Okay, by the way, p is what you call the population proportion. We spoke about it the very first day of class. We call it a parameter, population proportion p, and the one that go with it is called the sample proportion p. Okay, now this is a generic example I'm going to be using with you. This one say test the claim that the proportion is less than 25%. Okay, so as I told you before, I will be using generic example that can be applied to any type of situation. So to make this one be clear, let me just create one example quickly. I can say 13 black. Let's see which one of them. I say 13 black student attended the party. It can be any party last night. exactly 65 equals, you can say, participant or students. All of them are students. And let's put in the club, for example, or can be in the hall. Music club. And what I would say, probably a critic state that less than 25% of the people black. Okay, so as you can see, the critics state that less than 25 of the people or the students were black at the party, if you want to be more specific. So if somebody makes a specific claim, a claim like this, you might tend to believe that probably the organization that is in charge of the party might be racist. They have racist people because probably all of them are white. So you might think they are racist. So whenever I do a claim, sometimes it can either make somebody look good or sometimes make somebody look really bad. For a company, if you make a claim about their product, people may tend to buy more of that specific product, or they might say, we don't want to deal with this store anymore, something like that. So that's what the critic is saying. He said that less than 25% of the people were black. It means that they didn't really invite any black students. That's what I mean. They try to invite more white students or something else. But if I can ask you a question, why do you think the p hat will be here? And then if I say p hat, the p hat is what you call the sample proportion. Why do you think it will be here? And what does it mean? Point 2. Okay. So I think p hat, that's like you say at the first day of class, is always x over n. Thank you. X over n, which will be 13 over 65. And that's gonna give you 0.20. So, or 20%. What does that mean? This is the actual fact. What does that mean? Okay, Mauricio, we can just enjoy the recording, or you can just stick out the phone. So what does the 20% mean? This is the actual fact, which is 13 people, right? 13 people are black out of 65. So what does the 20% stand for? Anybody? Yes, it means 20% of them were actually black students. Yes. Let me just put it what you would. I'm gonna copy what you would, okay? So let me just copy it. Say 20% were actually black at the party. Let me just copy it to my file. Okay. So 20% of the people were actually black. Okay. So as you can see clearly, that number is less than 25%. It seems like the critic might be telling the truth. That's really less than 25%. Okay. So based on the critic, this is clearly less than 25%. So what you're gonna do is try to generalize it to everybody, to the population, say that they don't like inviting black people to the party. Usually when they have the party, it's only less than 25% of them would be black. So you can try to generalize it, because think that something is unfair, something is not right. You understand? So people will believe this is like a true statement. But what we need to do is to do an hypothesis testing to see if it's a true statement or false statement. Okay. When I try to do the problem by myself, I'll find this is the claim. I'll find the claim to be less than 0.25. This is the claim. Okay. Then I work with my hypothesis H0 and H1. One is greater or equal to 0.25. The other one is less than 0.25. We can note clearly that the claim belongs to H1. It belongs to H1. And notice carefully that because H1 is pointing to the left, there'll be a one tail, but mainly pointing on the left side. Therefore, I'm going to call this one a left tail. It's good to know this information because later on is going to help me to calculate my p-value. Alpha was not given to me. Wasn't given alpha, as you can see. So by default, I'll put 0.05. Then this is what I got. I find p hat, which is 0.02, just like you got it earlier for me. Okay, which is right here. You already had right here. Then I use the formula that I have from the second for class, one we had after the on Blackboard. When I look at the note, there was a formula given for me whenever we use proportion, and this is the formula that we're using right here. Once I use it, it gave me negative 0.93. So if you don't remember the formula, it goes like this. Z sub 0 is equal to P hat minus P sub 0 divided by the square root of P sub 0 Q sub 0 over N. If this formula look new to you, I want to remind you again, we saw it a couple weeks ago. Let me just remind you. Yeah, right here, I'm in the second week that we went over the hypothesis testing, and the formula was right there. It's right here. That's the formula I'm using, this one. Okay. I also remind you that P hat is equal to X over N, which is the simple proportion, and the P sub 0 is the population proportion, and also Q0 is equal to 1 minus P sub 0. Remember that Q is always 1 minus P. Okay, so let me go back to the notes. Let's continue. So when I work it out, the formula, I got negative 0.93. Now because it's a left tail, I use this formula to get the p-value. Then I use the z-table. The z-table was able to give me this answer, which is 0.1762. Then I compare the 0.1762 with alpha. Because 0.7662 is bigger than alpha, which is 0.05, my decision will be to fail to reject HO. I don't know if anybody have any question from now. So before I show you my answer that I got, are you guys able to get an idea what will be the conclusion? Remember, I have my claim with H1. I have my claim with H1, and also I failed to reject HO. So what kind of conclusion will I have? What will be the conclusion? If you look at step number 7, so what will be step number 7? What will you say? Okay, Veronica say we have enough evidence to support the claim because the claim is with H1, and then we fail to reject HO. Remember that we say the claim is with H1, but we fail to reject HO. So that means If you fail to reject HO, that means we have evidence for HO. I'm not sure if you guys are following me. Okay, we don't have enough evidence to support the claim. Thank you. So let me just go over here. That was the claim here. That was the claim, which was claim that less than 25% of the students were black. So we're gonna say this one. The claim was with H1, and then we failed to reject HO. Therefore, that will be your conclusion. Not enough evidence to support the claim. Or you can say, you can do the way you want it. We have no clear evidence to support the claim that the proportion is less than 25%. And if I want to use the problem I just did, the real life situation gave you, I can say we do not have enough evidence to support the claim that let's say the claim, I can say the critic claim at less than 25% of the students were black. Okay, so to make it like kind of a clear a little bit, so you can say we do not have enough evidence to support the critic claim stating that less than 25% of the students were black. Now, my question to you, because you come up to that specific conclusion, was the claim true? Was it a true claim or was it a false claim? Will you consider this one as a true claim or false claim? What the critic was saying. So that was a false claim. Thank you. That was kind of a false claim. Okay, that means if you get do the study and figure out that the person, I mean, it can be like the person is trying to make a lie. I mean, try to, you know, he probably doesn't like the organization, and then try to put some, you know, create some lie against the organization to make them, I mean, to bring them down. It can be anything like that. So people now, after that kind of study, people were now, oh, this guy was lying. Maybe he wasn't telling the truth. We don't have any evidence that what he's saying is a true statement. Because nowadays, everybody can say anything online, on social media, and then sometime whenever he says something, he can either put a company down or bring that company up, especially if you're a powerful person. But based on the study that we just went over right now, we can see that that statement wasn't a true statement, because based on the hypothesis testing, we noticed that there was not enough evidence for such thing to happen. Okay, so just like in a judgment, people go to judgment, they can say we have no evidence that that person committed the crime, so that person will be free to go. Or we can say we have evidence that he committed the crime, then you're gonna stay in jail. So that's the idea behind that. Do you guys have any idea, any question about this problem? Any question about that problem? So will you be able to do it very well on the upcoming quiz if I ask you some kind of question like this? So you need to practice more as all this thing then. So you make sure that you're ready for it. There's no other way. Okay. So anybody else? Okay. If you understand the idea, even more or less, for you to practice, I'm gonna give you this other problem right here for you to do right now. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys 7 minutes. Now it's 1:23, and now I'm gonna come back to you at 1:30. Okay. So practice this one, and I'm gonna ask you the answers very soon. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask me. Okay. Go ahead. 7 minutes. Okay guys, I'm not sure if you finished. So why we think the claim will be here? That's the claim. Okay, thank you. That will be not equal to 125. That's also going to be 0.5 right here. And 0.25 over there. So what kind of tail do we have here? What kind of tail do we have? Is it a one tail or a two tail? So that's going to be a two tail. Thank you. So alpha will be 0.05 because I did not give it to you. Then this is p hat, not p bar. P hat, what is p hat? What did you guys get for p hat? What is p hat? 0.37, thank you. Thank you, 0.37. And what about z sub 0? That's what I got for z sub 0, 0.369. What do you guys got for the z sub 0? Anybody else? What did you guys find z sub 0? When I check it, it doesn't give me 0.369. Anybody else? Oh, 0.369, okay. 0.369 will be for the p hat. Okay, thank you, I got that. Or 0.37, that is the same thing. So what do you guys got? Go say 2.23. So this is gonna give you 2.23. I assume that you guys know which formula to use. So what is the p-value? How do we get the p-value? What is the p-value? Or I'm asking, how do we get the p-value? That'll be the best question. Yes, there's a formula for it. To get the p-value. I understand that formula that you would no issue. I just want to know how to find the p-value first. If you look at your notes, I email them to you. In fact, they are available on Blackboard. It's just print out that you can use. And one of the page, it teach you how to find the p-value. No, that's the formula for the. Thank you, Kevin. So that will be 2 times. Can I ask you why you use this formula? The 2 times 1 minus P of Z less than Z sub 0, in this case, which is 2.23. You say because it was a 2-tail and a positive Z sub 0. Thank you. That's because it's a 2-tail and the Z sub 0 is positive. Thank you very much. So that's going to give you 2 times 1 minus what? 0.0258. Let's do step by step first. So we're going to have to look for the row 2.2 and the column ending in 3. Point 9871. 0.9871. So that's going to give you what? 2 times 1. 1 minus 0.9871. That gives you 0.0129. That's going to give you then 0.0258. Thank you. Now we need to compare 0.0258 with alpha. After we decide which one is bigger or smaller, we're gonna either reject or do not reject HO. So which one is bigger? So how can we say here? Is the p-value bigger or less than alpha? So it's less than alpha. Because it's less than alpha, so what will be the decision? We check or do not check HO? We check HO. Thank you. I'm gonna have to reject HO because the p-value is less than alpha. Notice clearly that my claim is with H1, and I say reject HO. Are you guys able to predict what my condition will be? You say reject HO, and the claim is with H1. Thank you. You can say we have enough evidence to support the claim. So Nancy, you have a question? I don't see you wrote anything. So we say the claim is with H1. Can you check HO? That will be your conclusion. We have enough evidence to support the claim. Okay, that's let's step number 7. Do you have any question for me? Any question? So if it's clear for you, the rest of them you can just do them by yourself, which is number 3, kind of the same concept just like we did last week, and number 4 for you to practice. Okay, and so on. I'm gonna stop here, and I will continue on Thursday. Not Thursday, on Tuesday next week. Okay. If you have any question from me, you're welcome to log out, and I'll see you next week. As of now, I will stop the week.